The 1-3 Panthers will square off against their NFC South rivals, the New Orleans Saints, this afternoon at Bank of America Stadium. The Panthers have the third highest rated offense in the NFL, averaging more than 450 yards a game. Drew Brees and the Saints, they have the second best offense. Newton, in his first 4 starts, has thrown for over 1,300 yards and 5 touchdowns. But big plays and turnovers have cost the Panthers so far this season.
In this league, turnovers, can make or break a particular game, no matter how many yards you throw for, no matter how many touchdowns you throw for. And it hurts your team, not only on a statistical level, but also just the overall momentum of the game.
To college football now, the Tar Heels coming off a win last week against East Carolina, back home yesterday to take on Louisville. This one deadlocked at 0 until the third. On 1st and goal, Giovanni Bernard gets the call and takes it in for the 3-yard touchdown, his 8th of the season. In the 4th, the Heels would find the end zone again. This time, Brent Renner looking deep downfield. He underthrows Dwight Jones, who still makes the catch, and then it's just a case of really poor tackling on the part of the Cards, and Jones fights his way in for 6. But with under a minute left, Louisville would find the end zone. Teddy Bridgewater, under pressure, avoids the sack and throws a little lob pass to a wide-open Dominique Brown for the 18-yard touchdown. So it comes down to the onside kick, which goes right to Eric Highsmith. Carolina wins 14-7 and improves to 5-1 on the season. In Raleigh, the Wolfpack taking on Central Michigan wearing the black and pink jerseys. First quarter, State gets on the board first. Mike Glennon hits George Bryan for the 18-yard touchdown. State up 7-0. Same quarter, the Chippewas would answer back. Ryan Radcliffe hits Cody Wilson to tie the game. Then in the 4th, Wolfpack up 28-17 when James Washington seals the deal for State with his 2-yard touchdown run. They go on to win it 38-24. And in Winston-Salem, Wake Forest looking to remain undefeated in ACC play, taking on Florida State. In the second, Wake down 7-3. Tanner Price throws a swing pass to Michael Campanaro, who hits Terrence Davis for the 30-yard touchdown. The extra point would be blocked, so it's 9-7 Deeks. But the Seminoles would battle back, and in the 4th, down 35-24, E.J. Manuel, with the pocket collapsing around him, finds Kenny Shaw in the back of the end zone. They would miss the 2-point conversion, and Wake would recover the onside kick. So the Demon Deacons upset the 23rd-ranked Seminoles 35-30.
You look back at, the Panthers that played in the first quarter is not the Panthers that played in the fourth quarter.
That was certainly a disappointed Cam Newton after today's game. Panthers in Atlanta today taking on division rival the Falcons. The Cats have just 1 win on the season, and more frustration today as mistakes continue to cost the Panthers close games. We pick up the action today in the first quarter. Panthers up 3-0. Michael Turner gets the call for the Falcons and goes in for the touchdown. 7-3 Atlanta at that point. Panthers answer back though in a second. Jonathan Stewart takes the handoff and gets pulled down at the 1-yard line. So on the next play, Stewart gets the call again, and this time takes it in to put the Cats up by 3, 10-7 Panthers. Matt Ryan, though, would bring the Falcons right back down the field and hits Ovi Magully. Ryan 14 of 22 for 163 yards today, 14-10 Falcons. Then just before the half, Cam is picked off in the end zone, so a missed opportunity there for the Panthers. Then in the second half, though, Cam Newton scrambling here for 14 yards. He would find the end zone and get the Panthers back on top. Maybe a little redemption there for Cam Newton. 17-14 Panthers at that point. Then in the 4th, game tied at 17. Matt Ryan sneaks it in for the score to put the Falcons up 24-17. So Cam Newton with a chance to answer back, but the screen pass is picked by Corey Peters. That would all but seal the deal for the Falcons. They would add 1 more touchdown before the end of the game, and the Panthers come up short again, 31-17. Next week, the Panthers will be taking on Washington. Today, though, the Skins at home taking on Deshaun Jackson and the Eagles. First quarter on 3rd down, Rex Grossman airs it out, but right in the double coverage. It's picked at the 2-yard line by Kurt Coleman. Grossman threw 4 interceptions on the day. The Eagles find the end zone later in the 1st. Mike Vick hits Brent Selleck for the 7-yard touchdown. Vick 18 of 31 for 237 yards today for the Eagles. Then in the 2nd, they would add to it. LaShawn McCoy this time gets the call and the 1-yard touchdown, puts the Birds up by 14. The Skins would find the end zone in the 4th, but lose this one 20-13. To racing now, and the devastating accident in Las Vegas this afternoon. As we showed you at the top of the show, it was certainly a very sad day in Vegas this afternoon as Dan Weldon died following this violent crash coming out of Turn 2. Sunday's race was his 135th start, but just his 3rd this season. Weldon had 16 wins during his IndyCar career. He came to the United States in 1999 from England with dreams of winning the Indy 500, and he did that twice, including this year. The wreck involved 15 cars. 2 drivers will remain in the hospital tonight, we're told, with non-life-threatening injuries.
Lost a prospect for sure.
And you could just tell, listening to those drivers, a lot of them at a loss for words, and certainly a big loss, not just for the IndyCar community, but the racing community as a whole.
I was reading, too, that he was concerned about the conditions on the track tonight.
Well, a lot of the drivers were hitting speeds at up to 225 miles an hour in practice, and some of them saying maybe that's just a little bit too fast for how close they were going to be racing.
For so many cars, yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Week 1 of the NFL season is finally here. The Panthers, coming off a 2-14 season last year, take Cam Newton as their top pick in the draft. He beats out Jimmy Clausen in the preseason, and today in Arizona, after all the hype, controversy, and criticism, Newton would get his first career start. The start of the season, of course, coming on the 10th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks. Before the opening kickoff, Panthers players standing side by side with members of the military for the national anthem. Then it was time to play some football. First quarter, 1st and goal for the Cards. Beanie Wells gets the handoff and punches it in from 7 yards out. Panthers fans may be thinking, here we go again. But then, just under 2 minutes later, Cam Newton from the gun looking deep downfield and finds Steve Smith wide open. Newton's first NFL touchdown pass goes for 77 yards and puts the Cats right back in it. Then, just before the half, they would do it again. 1st and 10 from the 26, Cam looks left, looks right, then goes back to Steve Smith, who comes down with his second catch of the half for a touchdown. But in the third, the Cards would answer back. Kevin Kolb, in his first start as a Cardinal, just inside Panther territory, drops back, gets flushed out, and throws off his back foot to a wide-open Jeff King, former Panther, who takes it 48 yards to tie it up. Later in the third, Panthers on the goal line. Cam Newton deciding to keep it himself this time. Goes up and over the dog pile. Panthers again out in front, but the Cards would tie it up and then take the lead again on this punt. A couple of Panthers overshoot coverage. Patrick Peterson takes it from the 11, straight up the middle, bounces off 2 missed tackles, gets a couple of key blocks, and then 89 yards later, finds pay dirt. And as they say, football is a game of inches. Well, Panthers would be inside the 10, and on 4th and 5, Cam hits Mike Goodson, but comes up just 2 yards short of the goal line. And that's how it would end. Panthers drop a real close one, 28-21.